Wholeness, beautiful beings, welcome to Notes of Nara. My name is Naj Rashida, and may this message find you well and whole. Today's topic, we're going to discuss leading with wisdom versus following a need. This is tricky, okay? Because we've all been caught up with I'm following my heart, right? I'm just following my heart. You have a dream, you have a goal, you have an image, an idea, and you follow your heart, right? I remember watching like movies with it was one movie in the 90s with Meryl Streep. What was it called? Music of the Heart. Very cheesy, very 90s. And I was a young musician at that point in my life. And so that was every music teacher around that time was showing this in class on a Friday after a concert, okay? And Music in the Heart, it's like, it was like, you have to follow your dreams, and there's a lot of truth to that, right? I've been saying, even within my own speech on this, on my platform here, it's very important to lead with your heart. Because a lot of the time, sometimes we get caught up in the head, we get caught up in our ego, and we're thinking, usually when we are following our heart, that phrase, that drive, that feeling, that frequency behind that, usually it's coming from a space of a needy place, right? You're needing validation, you're needing to discover yourself, you're needing to figure out what doesn't work, what works for you. All these things, all these needs, right, they're valid, and they don't make you weak. You're not a lesser person for it. You're not underdeveloped for having needs. However, be careful, because needs oftentimes will get fulfilled, right, eventually, through hard lessons learned, through a lot of trial and error. You figure out how to fulfill your own needs rather than looking outside yourself and following something outside of yourself to meet them. Leading with wisdom comes with maturity. And again, like I said, it comes with failure. It comes with learning how to deal with failure, learning how to deal with disappointment. And I'm saying emotionally, the emotional side of not always getting your way, not always having that outcome that you desired, right? And so with wisdom, it's applied knowledge. It's when to apply the knowledge of the mind in the correct spot. And when you're leading with wisdom from your heart space, that's a very powerful place to be. Is it easy? Absolutely not. What I'm speaking on, it's not easy at all. I will say, a lot of the time when we're following our heart on something, whether that's a lover or a new love, whether that's a business idea, whether that's leaving the country for the first time or a second time, whether that is buying a new home, right? Each one of these things has a hidden scenarios in them and hidden lessons that are very difficult. You just purchased a home, you just paid half down, and 3 months into it, you have a termite infestation. This is your dream home, right? This is what you spent your 20s and 30s, part of your 40s on saving, working so hard, and then you finally find your dream home that you're going to retire, you're going to leave to your family when your body retires, right? And it's infested, right? Or you're in your 30s and you have little ones, and this is our home, our castle, our dream home, and then you find out then that it has termites in them because you were following your heart, right? You thought it was right. Or let's say, you meet a new love and you're following your heart. You move cross country, or they move to you, or you blend your lifestyles together, and it just crashes and it burns. These things happen. Or let's say you have a fantastic business idea, you're following your heart, and you go out there, you talk to an attorney, you sign contracts, you take out certain loans if you don't have the funds, but you have your idea, you have all the product, and then no one buys. It's just not selling, but you're following your heart, right? Here's the thing about the tricky thing is, yes, you need to do that. It's called risk assessment, or just taking a risk in general. You just have to take a risk. You have to take the jump. Just because you're taking a big risk doesn't mean that it's going to work out in your favor. But what I find that if you just focus on the risk, you focus on the jump more and not so on not quite on the landing, it's a little bit easier, I find anyway, because it's the journey, not the, not the what do they say? It's the journey, not the destination, right? And you'll meet those two types of people in life. You'll meet people who are all about the journey, all about the experience, all about trying new things. And then you'll meet people who are dead set on the destination, dead set on the outcome, dead set on how things are going to look at the end. And so you have to figure out which philosophy best suits you and which season of life that works in. Sometimes there are seasons in life where you really just have to focus on experiencing the journey. It's out of your hands to know exactly how the movie will end, the story will end. Other times it's crucial, it's critical to know where the fuck you're going, excuse my French, but the end goal, right? What's the goal? What is your why, right? Where are you going to end up in, with your path? And so it's really about following the natural intuition that we have built within our heart, that's coded deep within our heart. And I sit here and I say all these things, and I know it's not easy. I'm in the middle of it right now, in multiple areas of my life right now, and it's uncomfortable, exciting, but quite uncomfortable. That rock song from the 80s, living on a prayer. Yeah, kind of sometimes life, it feels like that. It feels like you're living on a prayer. You're living on hope. You're living on the next day. And I find that what will also help when it comes to leading with wisdom, be present in the now. Just be present in the experience that you are experiencing. No matter how uncomfortable the feelings are and the emotions are, don't try to run away and escape from them. Be present with them, and then do something that will bring positivity and that will bring love into your space. For example, today, a lot of things on my mind and my heart, and I have to sit and process it all. I just have to. I can't run away from it and distract myself any longer. Right now, energy is starting to move. There are many pieces beginning to move on the game board, and I'm the player, and I have to be strategic. I have to think through things, all the while processing a lot of complex emotions. And so today I said, what can I do that can alleviate some of this, a lot of what I'm feeling, right? We just got done with the Lionsgate. We have Mercury retrograde. We got a full moon. I mean, August is packed, okay? And when it comes to astrological happenings. But my point is, I said, well, the first thing I can do is clean. Cleaning creates space. It lifts the place up. No matter what amount, a little goes a long way. And so I put in a nice solid hour, I think, of cleaning, picking up things, washing dishes and all that. And that helped set up the next thing that I was going to work on. And then I got that done, and then that helps, so making sure that you're doing things that are positive, and that you are the master of what frequencies that you choose to work with and vibrations you choose to work with in your EMF. So so following a need, how is that dangerous? When you're much younger, a teen, or even adult, like I mentioned before, you have to know what your needs are, wants, desires, and priorities. You just do. You really, 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 really do. As a sovereign being, no one can tell you outside yourself what your needs are. No one can meet your needs for you. They may guide you. They may give you a little leg up, but no one can sustain consistent, like, a pouring of their energy into filling up your cup for you. That is primarily your job. That is a you issue. That is a you thing that you have to take care of. Following a need versus leading with wisdom, I would say, sometimes you just gotta fall. I think I'm getting a visual of a cliff and someone that it's like, okay, I don't have wings, but I know I have to fly. I know I have to be in the air. And so you're standing on the edge of the cliff. You physically don't have wings to fly, but there is no other choice but to take a risk and jump. And so you jump, and then you just, all of a sudden, you're losing momentum. You don't even hover, you just drop, right? Physics kicks in, and you're just free falling and screaming, right? And a lot of the time, you just fall, your face flat, just completely wipe out, just complete wipe out. And then you find yourself at the very bottom, looking up at the edge of that cliff, and you're like, shit, I have to climb back up and try again, right? And that's what you're supposed to do. It's following a need will lead you to needing more. It's like it becomes a hunger. And please watch that video that talks about heart hunger. It becomes a drug almost. And it's you're accountable for recognizing your own patterns, right? Cycles. Things always come back around again. Always come back around. You can't run from this, because we come in with what? Sacred contracts. And if you fulfill a contract, then you still will, the cycle will then, yes, repeat itself, but you know better now. You can lead with wisdom now. You're not just following it blindly. You're not following a need because you feel like you need it, like you're craving, like you're fiending something, right? But yeah, it takes just a lot of effort until you go through so much that you realize that you're dumping water into a cup that has a hole in it. That's what following a need is. You're just, and the water sometimes will gush right out. You're like, hey! Other times you can barely notice a crack, that there's a hole, and it slowly seeps out, and you're just pouring more water in. And you're not able to quench that thirst, feed that hunger, until you realize that there's a leak in the cup, that there's a hole in the bottom, and only you can fix it. Nothing else outside of you can. So yeah, leading with wisdom, wisdom, right? And wisdom is applied intellect or intelligence. So you're applying knowledge at the right time, at the right moment. This is your intuition. This takes time to develop. But when you develop this part, it means that when the cycles come back around again, you can recognize the pattern with speed. It doesn't take you, 11 times to figure it out. You're like, oh, I've seen this pattern before in myself. Oh, I've seen this pattern before in this relationship. Oh, I've seen this pattern before in that job situation. Oh, I've seen this pattern before in this, friendship dynamic. And then you have a choice. You have a choice to, and here's a thing though, when you are leading with wisdom of the heart, your heart is so solid in this knowing and in this intuition that it won't even let you repeat the same damn behavior over and over again. It just won't. It's like, no, that cycle's broken. This is, yes, the same story, but you're a completely different character now. That's the power of leading with wisdom. Like, you literally, it's almost like, think of Neo in the Matrix, right? So he has this major awakening, and then they have to go back into the Matrix to wake up more people. But when he goes back, he's entered into the Matrix, right? Everything is functioning the same way because everybody, the majority of the people are asleep. But he's awake, he's aware, he has awareness. And he's a different character. Neo, meaning one, if you flip the letters around. I don't want to get into into etymology and symbolism and stuff, but yeah, Neo he's a completely different character to this a same old story, right? And usually when you're leading with wisdom, you may get attacked. People may block you. People may cut you off. People may, come after you. People may challenge you. You know, they're like, wait. You're this, who are you? Why aren't you playing the game? Why aren't you following the storyline here that we got set up for you? And you're like, I'm sorry, I'm applying my wisdom. I'm leading with wisdom now. I know now. I have a certain awareness. The cycle will always repeat, but your interpretation and your perception shifts. It changes. It expands. It's no longer contracted and limited and short-circuited and, where you're so blind that you don't know what your needs are, right? And so you're just like, let me go anywhere. Let me look outside myself. And the difference is, in the end of the Matrix series, Neo goes within. What's internal? Your intuition. So leading with intuition, leading with your wisdom of the heart, that's most important. That's most important, and it's most potent. So with that, please enjoy the rest of the videos this week. I'm trying my best to stay on top of recording or pre-recording because I'm going to be out of town for a little bit. And have a wonderful evening, and may this message find you well and whole. Take care. Goodbye.